I don't.
I don't want, I don't want to hold it twice and,
No, I don't think we
I don't
should
wanna
hold it.
I don't
Okay.
wanna-
all right, so we
Yeah, I mean,
have,
Just to go back, I did speak to Delegate Terry Hill. She was fine with it, and she wants to move. She doesn't want us to hold it.
Okay.
sure,
you know what, Mr. Chairman, may I jump in?
absolutely.
So, I think that if a conversation's been had and the sponsor is okay with the amendment,
And
and
she
that
is.
conversation has been had with Delegate Parrott, then, I have no reason not to believe that what Delegate Parrott is saying is true. So I'm okay with it. If we find out later that there's a problem, then we can address it. But at the moment, I'm okay with what Delegate Parrott's relaying.
And
to
I
us.
had a conversation with Terry Hill's staff, and the reason why it was with staff and not Terry Hill is because she was testifying on one of her bills. All right, so,
Okay, I'm fine with that. You can record me in the yes. That's fine.
okay. All right, all in
We're
favor of
recorded
the,
anyway.
okay. All right, so all in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed say no. Oh, all opposed say no. Very good. The bill as amended. Do I have a motion on the bill as amended?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
The bill is moved and seconded as amended. All in favor of HB 322 as amended, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposition? Seeing none, HB 322 passes as amended. We will now go to HB 367. And we have, what time are we supposed to go into leadership, DFH?
6:45. So we have, let's say, about 3 or 4 more minutes before we got.
All right, HB 367 is the next bill. HB 367 is a bill about managers of common ownership communities. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes, it's
Creating a
the
state
bill.
board of common ownership community managers. Yes.
That is correct. There was we had this bill last year. It was HB 592 last year. It was voted out of the House at a vote of 118 to 14. And on this bill, are there any amendments on this bill, Matthew?
There are no amendments that have been offered on this bill.
Move approval.
Amendments.
Favorable.
Second.
A motion is favorable with a second. Any discussion on HB 367? Seeing none, all in favor of HB 367, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition?
No,
What?
Weibel, no.
Who-
Sorry,
who's
he's got a
Weibel?
sponsor problem.
I think he meant no, there's no opposition.
Yeah, well, Weibel
Weibel is on a roll tonight.
It's just more regulation. I mean, it's what the state needs, right, Marvin?
it is. And Weibel's voting no, and that's okay because he voted no on the floor last year anyway. Okay. All right,
And you
so
would call me out if I wasn't consistent.
so HB 367 is passed as we have voted. The next bill I'd like to go to is HB 361. Matthew, while I scroll through my folder to find the bill, can you? This bill, ladies and gentlemen, is a bill that is requiring board members of common ownership communities to have training. This bill is not a bill that we discussed or had before us last year, so there's no voting record on this bill from last year. This is a new bill that was introduced by me this year. This is during testimony, we had 2 persons testifying, and the testimony was Building Industry Association. They were favorable with amendments, and the amendments that the Building Industry Association suggested have been printed, and I think that those have been distributed. Is that correct, Matthew?
So the Maryland Building Industry Association amendments should have been in with the testimony that was offered. There was a one-page document included with the testimony.
Let's, go ahead. I'm sorry, Matthew. I didn't mean to cut
Okay.
you off.
So the First Amendment would clarify that the act would not apply prior to a common ownership community's transfer of a board of directors controlled by the developer or board of directors controlled by the unit. It wouldn't apply prior to a transfer to a board of directors that's controlled by the unit owners other than the developer. The Second Amendment is that the act would only apply to residential for sale housing. Now, one thing I just wanted to bring up for the subcommittee's consideration, I believe that this language should probably, because it's of permanent application, not be included. It would be cleaner if it were not included in the uncodified sections of the bill. So if it's the subcommittee's desire to adopt language like this, I would like, oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Matthew.
If it was the
No
subcommittee's
worries.
desire to adopt language such as this, I'd like to perhaps work on how that might be adopted into the codified language, perhaps by modifying the sections within the bill.
You mean, are you saying adding something to the uncodified language or?
Now, currently, as proposed, the amendment is included in uncodified language.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
Right.
Oh, I see.
And-
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So,
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman,
I understand totally. Yes, sir. Delegate Celebrity.
thank you. Could you restate this bill again? I'm not clear on what it is.
Certainly. What this bill requires is that if a board member of a common ownership community, like a HOA, a townhouse community, or a condominium, or a cooperative, if they are going to be on the board, then they are required to have training. And in the bill, there are suggestions on what training and what certifications of training that they must take in order to be on the board. And that's what it does.
All right, thanks.
A
I have a
question.
question.
And
Yeah, I just have a question. Sometimes it's hard to get people to serve on these boards at all. And what happens if people just don't want to take the training and you limit the pool of people willing to serve even more?
I agree. And that was the hesitancy in me putting it forward previous years, but I kept getting requests to put this bill in because there's been so many discrepancies in what happens to these common ownership communities between property managers, which aren't licensed, and lack of knowledge for board members.
Gotcha.
And that's why the bill was put in, was for the request of at least getting the board members trained, because there is no opportunity right now. There's no requirement, I should say, for the board members to be trained. And that's why I put the bill in.
Okay.
Delegate Weibel?
Yes, thank you. Delegate Holmes, I thought when you started, you said this bill was not introduced in a prior session, but our notes say it was prior session, House Bill 1054.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
So this is the same bill basically as last year?
For 1054.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I have the same concerns as Delegate Healy. I have familiarity with a small association, and we can't get people to serve now. And I'm just
Sure.
afraid with the training requirement, we're going to end up having to hire professional individuals to run the association at more of a cost to them. I just wish there was an exemption for small associations in this bill and the other one that you had here.
Okay, I understand. Neil?
Possible to make it so that training is available, but not
I'm sorry,
required.
I can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Neil. Your volume's almost.
He suggested making training available versus being required. I don't know why I can hear him and you all can't, but
Because you two are speaking R. All right, this is what we're going to have to do, ladies and gentlemen. Our time has expired. We have to get to the other meeting. We started 1 minute ago. So we're going to put this, everything else is going to have to be on hold until next week. I apologize. I was trying to go as fast as possible, but we've got to leave here and then go to another meeting. I apologize. And we'll get back to all of this. Go ahead, Matthew.
Just
Bye.
so one quick thing. Could all the members, if you have a personal email address that you're interested in sharing, share that with me directly. It makes sending out the amendments a lot easier. And that way you at least get it to two sources, both your delegate's email account as well as the personal one you might check more regularly.
Right.
I apologize. It's a change that's necessitated by this new amendment system that we're using.
And again, ladies and gentlemen, I really apologize for rushing through this. I really do. But we all know that we have a time crunch on us, and we need to follow the advice of the chair. All right.
Mr.
I'm going to
Chairman?
blame it on
Chairman,
Kumar. Yes,
You
sir.
are under orders.
Yes, sir.
Follow orders or people die.
Sir, yes, sir.
Carry on.
We will meet. We will rejoin us all again next week. Thank you all. And again, I apologize for rushing, ladies and gentlemen.
No worries. Carry on.
Thank you.